Welcome back to Copper Star Precision, the channel dedicated to getting you more points at your competitive shooting matches. Today we're going over match footage from the July 2024 NRL22 Course of Fire. Put the scores up here. Was able to take away 4th place using my base class build, only dropping 5 points on the day. So really happy with that. And the goal here for me is to qualify for nationals in base class. So we're hoping for about 85% or better of the number one person score to earn points towards that qualification. So we came in at 92%, so above our goal. So we're on track, we're on pace, doing well so far this year. Pretty tight at the top. The top shooter only dropped 1 point on the NRL stages all day. Next shooter only dropped 3. Third place only dropped 4. I dropped 5. But, 1 or 2 points here or there makes a big difference in the standings. And I think that lends itself to the fact that this is a pretty straightforward course of fire in terms of like target engagement. There's not really a lot of complex target orders or that kind of stuff, but movement definitely is a factor. There's definitely a few stages here. There's a support side stage on the rooftop that can be a challenge for some people. The pyramid and 55-gallon barrel stage requires pretty fast movement. I nearly timed out on the ladder stage because I was just brought too much gear and was going too slow. So I think this Course of Fire this month is relatively straightforward in terms of target engagements, but does require some movement. So with that in mind, let's jump into some match footage. First stage of the day for our squad was stage 4. It's the troop line stage, 5 target engagements near to far and then far to near. This is also the time stage, and it's also kind of interesting starting the day on the time stage. You want to go fast, try and get those bonus points if you're someone who's competing at a higher level. I always advocate for newer shooters, just focus on the hits. Don't worry about the time. The speed will come with practice. But here I am trying to earn as many points as possible, so I'm trying to go for speed, but it's the first round. You might have first round jitters, which definitely plagues me from time to time. So really trying to work on my mental game, getting that mindset when the match starts, it's time to go. So went for speed, used holdovers, and I did a strategy video, which I'll put a picture of and maybe link down below, where I talk about holdovers being the faster way to do this. And it did turn out pretty fast. I was second fastest of the entire match on this stage, and those holdovers strategies really worked. And I'm at a little bit of disadvantage with the holdovers, having only half mil hash marks in my reticles, where some of the open class shooters have 2/10. So I really try and cater those to my advantage. So go watch that video if you haven't, kind of explaining my thought process for the dope card I use so I can make fast target engagements using holdovers. Engage.
Back. 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 Impact. Impact.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Good job.
54 seconds. It's quick.
Next up is stage 5, fire on the rooftop. This was the rooftop stage. You had to engage targets near and far from one side, go to the other side of the rooftop, and then engage on the support side. Obviously, this stage will give some people trouble if you haven't practiced support side. It's not a skill that we see often, but again, when we do see it, it's a nice chance to pick up points if you have practiced it. So I recommend everyone trying, in their practice, their dry fire sessions, just try and get comfortable behind the rifle using your non-dominant eye, shoulder, and hand. I decided to use holdovers for this stage because I wasn't sure if I was going to have enough time on the clock to dial. In retrospect, I probably could have dialed for each target and made things a little bit easier, not having to use holdovers. The only thing I would warn you against if you're going to dial for this stage is you have to have confidence in your ability to shoot support side, because you could easily see people wasting 30 to 45 seconds even trying to find the target on support side, and that's just going to ruin your stage. So I decided to use holdovers. It worked out well for me. But if you're struggling with support side, doing support side and mentally keeping track of holdovers might be difficult. So maybe hold over for the first couple of targets and then dial for the support side targets. Find what works for you. Let me know what works for you down in the comments, and let's just jump into the stage footage.
Shooter ready.
Stand by. Begin.
Impact. 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 Alright, shooter. Impact. Impact. Stand by. Impact.
Nice job. Another clean.
Next up is a club stage that I designed. It is called the Olympic Trials. So in honor of the Olympics starting up this month, obviously the Olympic shooting events are a lot different than what we do here, but they're all offhand shooting. Now they have shooting jackets and slings and that kind of stuff. But I thought we would do an NRL version of offhand shooting because there wasn't a stage like that in the Courts of Fire in a while, and there was a stage at Nationals, so I could obviously use more practice. So I subjected all the other match goers to some practice shooting offhand standing. I'll put the stage description up here, and in fact, I will actually put a PDF of the stage in case any other match directors feel free to use it at your matches. It was a relatively well-received stage, provided some challenge, some more than others, and I tried to make the target sizes generous, but I'll put a link down to my Patreon, and it will be free for all members. So go down there, you can click, it will take you to Patreon, but it will be free even if you're not subscribed. While you're down there, if you like the content and you want to watch these videos ad-free, consider subscribing for as little as $1 a month. But the stage is basically a 6-inch target at 50 meters or 55 yards offhand, and then you take one shot at that target and then 2 shots at a far target from sort of the resting platform that you see some of the Olympic shooters use to rest their rifles in between strings of fire. That was a 4-inch target at 100 meters or 110 yards. So 1 shot near and then 2 shots at the far target supported for a total of 12 shots.
Yeah, I got stand by. Engage. Start.
That's what I need to get. So we need to get a couple around that.
Ready? Ready. Stand by. Go. Point 4. Back. Back. I wouldn't give up.
I won't be off the plate. That target's huge. Thank you.
Impact. Back.
That's a 4-on-1 target.
Impact. What? Back. Impact. Back. Impact. Back. Impact. Impact. Impact.
Back to the NRL stages with stage 1, I Know Your Ladder. This stage should have been more straightforward than I made it out to be. I decided to bring a bunch of pump pillows and bags for rear support. Probably unnecessary. The prop itself was pretty stable at our match, and I thought I could get a little bit more stability with rear support, and I think I just brought too much gear to manage on the clock. I actually started on the right side and went right to left because the first position was lower, and I thought I could get a nice stable position, at least get a win call. My first shot on this stage I have no idea where it went. I didn't see any splash. I didn't see anything. So I was kind of perplexed. That kind of threw me for a loop and kind of bumped me off my mental game on this stage. I was able to recover pretty well, but was really running out of time at the end, so had to rush a couple shots here and there, and this is where I dropped some points.
Shooter ready? Stand by.
We'll probably need to move some rifles briefly. We can probably scooch them down this way.
Not a problem.
Yeah, that's about it. I couldn't I think you were off right. Wind must be 50%. It's too bad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That flag's going that way. That flag's going that way.
Thank you, man. You drive all the way. Yeah, here's about 40 minutes. It's like an hour. All right. If you understand the course of fire, load and make it thine rifle ready.
Got two front could be better. That bush is in the wrong spot. That bush is in the wrong spot. You forget to see if they get some intermediate length so that get the about 6 more inches. Correct.
Shooter ready. Stand by.
I'm a little rusty. I don't know if I want to run these.
Get back. Got in a mode to keep getting the bolt gun. Line up, squeeze the trigger. Back.
Tim.
Got you for 10.
Stage 2 was new tank trap boogie, KYL rack of 40 yards. Basically engaging off of 3 of 4 positions on the tank trap. You're engaging the large and then the middle target, and then transitioning to a prone position and shooting the smallest quarter-inch KYL target. The way the range was set up and the target was set up, there were actually some weeds in front of the KYL target from certain positions. So I think in my strategy videos, I talked about taking a prone position close to where you were on the tank trap. However, that wasn't necessarily an option here. So we kind of had to go to where that shooting mat was to the left of the tank trap each time to actually be able to see through the foliage where the quarter-inch target was. Obviously, from the height of the tank trap, you could see everything fine, but I would have preferred to just kind of take a prone position right next to the position I was just shooting at, the tips. I decided to go for all 3 tips here. I decided to attach my bag to my rifle this time, trying to make transitions a little bit easier, trying to manage less gear on the clock. And I started from the furthest tip to the shooting mat and kind of worked my way around in a clockwise orientation. So let's see how it went.
Spotters ready? Shooter ready?
Ready.
Stand by. Begin.
Somebody makes it.
Earplugs that. Never fucking loud. Why are you yelling?
It's served me well for
Impact.
so somebody else basically sold a longer bolt that just replaces that bolt.
Impact.
And then it's just got the little clip on it. What you do is you wait for the Black Friday sale.
Well, because they're like
You get one that's
dusted.
like glam. Because it's usually just a finish issue. There's nothing functionally wrong.
Impact.
Oh, absolutely. First day I ever took that rifle, that view out, and that gas went too far forward on the delivery, and just like, well, broke it. But if you want like real hard Like the problem with the feet that it comes with is
Back. What's that? Yeah? Did you drop one?
At least one.
Back.
I dropped 10 on the first stage. I got one on it.
On a,
I had the wrong go back.
oh, on the, you're talking about the club stage.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got one.
I meant like on the NRL section.
don't bring it to a match. I'm just saying.
Back.
I think it cleans it.
Yeah.
Green. One of these two guys.
Back. I'm down 3 today. Not me. I didn't say anything.
Down a lot.
I mean, these things are very fine. Everybody else. Dude, I dig those earrings. I gotta get earplugs.
Ah.
Mike, have you thought about, like,
You only dropped one, right?
yeah, rhinestones on those?
Maybe.
Last stage of the day for our squad was stage 3 in the NRL Course of Fire. It was Franklin's Tower and Barrel, and this is the one where you're moving. And there's a lot of movement in this stage. You got to have fast target acquisition. I kind of made a little bit of a mistake here. You know, I was moving the bag separately and then moving the rifle to the bag. I should have just had my rifle in my hand, grabbed the bag, move the bag, and put the rifle down. That would have saved me some time. Definitely rushing towards the end here. Was running out of time. Had to rush a few shots, and consequently dropped a few on this stage because of it. But overall, got all my shots off. I just wish I had a little bit more time to get perfectly stable and make a better wind read and wind call.
Are you ready? Stand by, engage.
20.5 to get his
Let down. Side down.
It's whatever gets you the averaging 10 seconds.
Back.
Slow. Cut the first leg drop, we crown it. The speed is where I want it to be. No. It screws. No, you don't want to thread
Back.
Only cut rifle, but pretty good you can thread and it doesn't affect it. Because there's no like post-tension stress. But on
When you're sucking a cutter.
it puts an unbelievable amount of stress, and then they normalize it at the final OD, and if you cut anything off of it, it's like, you know, it's like unloosening.
There's tension there, and all of a sudden.
Well, what it'll do is it can, you know, when you cut that, everything expands, and now you've got a bullet that's traveling through, and all of a sudden it's attempting to do it at the end, and it doesn't, it's not touching everywhere.
Back.
It's a floating job, which you don't want.
Unless you want to bore in and then bore out the first inch of rifle, and then you don't have to cut. That would be.
I usually do my same legs on Saturdays, so I only do like 1 or 2 a week. Most days I'm running production stuff, but I need it very distraction from guys working at the shop, running machines. I can't, there's no room for error. It's gotta be perfect, so I do that Saturdays.
Back. Nicely done. Got you for 8. Upstairs.
So that's going to wrap it up for the July 2024 NRL22 Course of Fire. I think this was a good mix of stuff. You know, I think definitely the hardest stage for me was the Franklin Tower and Barrel stage, the Pyramid and Barrel. There's a lot of movement there. A lot of people, I imagine, timed out on that stage. I made the ladder stage overly complicated, which made it more difficult for me, but should have been a more straightforward stage than I made it out to be. And then if you don't have experience shooting support side or haven't practiced it enough, I could see the Rooftop giving people some problems. The other 2 stages, the troop line stage is a prone position, pretty self-explanatory. You know, if you're going for time, you know, you just have to make sure that you're making good wind calls and you know your holdovers. And then the tank trap stage is a prop that we encounter at most matches. So the actual engagement with the prop should be familiar to most people who have attended a few matches. The only challenge there was the small size of the KOL targets. It was a good balance of movement on some stages and then challenging target sizes on other stages. What was nice about this match is it didn't have some super complex target order engagement. So if you plan to attend this match later in the month, this might be a good one to bring people to introduce them to NRL. I think it's a good representation of what a typical NRL 22 course of fire should be, and I think it would be fun for a new competitor to compete at this match. As always, questions and comments down below. Again, I'll have a link to my Patreon where you can get a free copy of that side stage if there's any match directors out there that watch these videos and want to incorporate that or change it in some way to include it as a bonus stage at your matches. And yeah, thanks for sticking around, and until I see you next time, as always, score more points.